All right, everybody. Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. Oh, sorry, that was a call alarm. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about the anniversary because they just announced that we will be getting another Moonlight connection, which essentially means to you, for you new players who don't know, there is going to be a selection of these 7 Moonlight 5 stars that you can pick. Um, one of them. You can pick one of them after completing a few tasks and watching the side story. I'm not sure exactly what the side story is called, but it is in the Moonlight Theater, so you spend entries. It's a little bit of a separate system than the ordinary side stories for the story summons. But here I wanted to just go into like depth a little bit about which ones to pick to help you make an educated decision that you won't regret later on. First of all, we have Mediator Kawerik. Lots of people call him Hand Guy. He is very, very strong. He's a cleanser. He provides immunity, and he pretty much shuts down a lot of control teams. Control teams meaning teams that use a lot of debuffs to prevent you from doing anything ever. He's really strong. He has lost a little bit of value. There are a bunch of other cleansers in the game. Destina, we have Achades, we have Dilibet, Designer Lilibet. So what he does essentially is cleanse and provide an immunity and attack buff, which is very strong. However, you won't before. I feel like your account suffered by not having him, but as of now, he is really nice to have. He's a really good pick, but he's not like a must-have. Like, if the opponent like has the option to pick him and you don't, I don't feel like you will be severely disadvantaged. Comparable to that is Conqueror Lilias, who I would put on the step above him. She is almost always kind of a good choice. She can be picked into most teams and most playstyles, as she provides the Vigor buff, which is a unique buff that buffs both defense and attack and stacks with those corresponding buffs as well. So she can make people hit really hard and make them really tanky. She's a great pick, super strong still, despite all of the kind of characters that have been released to counter her. She is still phenomenal. She has lost a little bit of value, but she is not as much as Mediator Kawerik. So if you don't have her as a new player, I would recommend picking her. However, to keep in mind, so sorry, I think there's a plane outside. To keep in mind is that she does require some pretty hefty gear. Yeah, Mediator Kawerik is a bit easier to gear, but Conqueror Lilias, you want her to be at least 280 speed minimum. There is a build nowadays to give her a little bit more ER and have her 260-ish, but if speed is not your thing, Conqueror Lilias will not provide you with as much value as maybe Mediator Kawerik in this case. We then have Commander Pavel. He's a great cleave unit. He will follow up AoE attack whenever your team has landed 2 critical hits, because he works off of a rage bar and he starts off with a starting rage and then you only need 2 critical hits. So champions that have extra turns are great to proc him. I usually pair him with Kizen Ahmed, and he just follows up and cleans up. Amazing cleave unit, but that's kind of what he does. He only does cleave, but that's his niche and he does that really well. Cleave has taken a hit these days with the current meta, but he is phenomenal. If you like that kind of fast cleave play style, definitely pull for him. Even if cleave isn't the strongest now, it comes back and forth, you know, meta changes, so designs are forever. We have Remnant Violet, he is a slot machine. He feels amazing. He counterattacks, he evades, and when he pops off, he can 1v4. But there's so many things in game right now that can kind of, like, if he gets stripped off of his evasion buff, because it is a strippable buff, he kind of suffers like Emil Karen a bit, that he's just kind of like a sitting duck. He just doesn't do anything and is easily killable. But when they don't really have an answer to Remnant Violet, to which there are a lot of answers these days, Sahak, Karin, but he's still pretty strong and deals a chunk. He deals a lot of damage. But just to keep in mind that he has a little bit more things that shut him down. We have Sylvan Sage Vivian, just super strong. Put her on a lifesteal stat and she will just solo a Ravi, and she will just heal up and take no damage at all. She is severely weak to fixed damage. So people like Rimuru, Ikarina shut her down pretty hardcore. But she hits like a truck and takes like no damage unless you overwhelm her with attacks and counterattacks. But a very solid unit. Death Dealer Ray. He is a debuffer. He works off of... He's kind of like the key to the Venom playstyle. Him with Sharoon together, with Venom slowly kind of chipping away at your maximum HP. So he is a control unit. Yeah, he has that kind of like sleep and venom kind of aspect to him that is very unique to him. Very fun. He likes slow games, so he wants to just slowly, you know, take away the enemy's HP, and very often wants to be paired with AoE characters to apply that venom. But he's very strong. He was absolutely garbage at release, but they hotfixed him, and now he's really good. And at last we have Elena. As you can tell, there are only 3 tiers here because honestly these 7 Moonlight 5-stars, they're really strong, and you really can't go wrong with whatever you pick. It's just really up to what you want out of the unit and what you want, what your playstyle is. Sometimes you're relegated towards a certain playstyle because you don't have certain units, or you don't have certain like speed rolls on gear. Totally understandable, but Elena is supposed to counter counterattacks. She does not counter all counterattacks. There are some that are programmed as extra attacks, but general counterattacks she counters and shuts down, and she does that really well. However, she is I would say that she is kind of clearly 1 tier below, as she's not as reliable as the other ones. However, she can be picked in cleave to make sure that the I don't know, the like a Rem wouldn't just like counterattack everybody, or you know, an ML Landy, but she's really good. All of these are very solid picks. Like I said, these top ones in the SSS plus tier, you really can't go wrong with them, honestly. They will just generally boost like the worth and value of your account, and they will enable you to climb RTA, arena, whatever PvP it is, you know, easier by having these. Especially Conqueror Lilias, I would say that you are slightly disadvantaged by not having her on your account whenever you're playing RTA, because that means that you either ban her or the opponent might have the opportunity to pick her, and she is then you have to kind of build your team around countering her, or else she will just provide so much value for the opponent. But like I said, if you just want the best, like in terms of value, you'd probably pick Conqueror Lilias. If you don't have any answers to debuffs and control, Mediator Kawerik, Death Dealer Ray, control unit, amazing control unit with his very own niche. I wouldn't recommend picking him up unless you like what he provides. Okay, that is so generic, you can say that about anyone. But if you're not interested in the playstyle of slow and steady with, you know, chipping away their max HP, because there are a bunch of other control units that all do different things, like Solitaria, and things, you know, they all have their own sort of control. And Araminta, that is Silverblade Araminta, for example. A bunch of control units have different type of control aspects, and Death Dealer Ray is by no means a must for the control playstyle. Commander Pavel is amazing for the cleave. Like I said, if you're cleaving and you maybe already have these 2 units, Commander Pavel is not a bad choice. He is so dangerous and lethal if you have the team set up around him. Remnant Violet, Picking him is as much of a slot machine as drafting him. He might provide you so much value if you like evasion. He's definitely the coolest evasion unit in my opinion, and he hits like a truck and can pretty much just one tap squishies. Uh, Sylvan Vivian say Sylvan Vivian Sage Sylvan Sage Vivian is a fantastic unit as well, but she is very susceptible to fixed damage. Like I said, I just need to reiterate that because her entire gimmick of having focus stacks that gives her 70% damage reduction is, for one, shut down by Solitaria, and to if the opponent just keeps counterattacking her, all of her stacks will go away and she will just be a sitting duck. I don't even know if that's the term, but yeah. And we have Astromancer Lena, like I said. She does what she does primarily, but she also sometimes struggles a little bit as to she's supposed to counter some things that I feel like she should counter, but she doesn't. But I understand why she can't counter those things, because her countering extra attacks and everything would just completely take away a bunch of characters' existence to live. No, purpose to live, reason for existence. But my personal pick is going to be DDR Death Dealer Ray, because I am a huge fan of his design. I think I've been playing him a bunch in draft mode, and I think he's so fun. He is so fun. It's so satisfying just seeing their HP bars drop down to half. And I already own Conqueror Lilias. I picked her last year when we had an ML selector. We could pick any unit we wanted, and I picked Conqueror Lilias. And I have not regretted that decision at all. She has provided my account with so much. Like whenever I cleave, the vigor buff. Whenever I want someone tanky, Conqueror Lilias will always be there for you. But yeah. Be sure to tell me down in the comments down below who you want to pick, or who you are going to pick, because I am so excited and I can't wait to play around with my Death Dealer Ray. But for now, please, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to help support the channel. I would very much appreciate that, and I will see you next video. Bye bye, take care.